Good evening from InvestSharp.com. This is Randy Smotone with your Monday, January the 3rd market update. So I had a nice, pretty awesome day in the market to kick off the first trading day of 2011. So we had the dollar and oil were both up. Gold and silver were down. Copper was pretty much flat on the day. So looking at the UUP, had a little bounce here. Not a lot of volume behind it. Got a little kind of equal buying and selling here, but a little bit of a bounce on the dollar. See, light sweet crude futures were up a whole 17 cents to settle at $91.55 a barrel. So oil is still holding up well. Let's take a look at the Russell, since it had the larger percent gain today, up 1.9%. Got up to around 800 and closed pretty close to the high of the day. Pulled back just a little bit. Still, it's kind of been this trend line. We'll see when it actually takes that out. It's a little resistance as it's been hanging around this uptrend line, but still looking good. Take a look at the Dow. The Dow was up, but it was the weakest out of the NASDAQ, Russell, and S&P. Everything. The Dow was the weakest. Still up 0.81%, up 93 points. Did pull back a little bit off its highs. 11,670s are close, taking out this prior high, so it's looking good. S&P, same thing here. I'm expecting a little bit, and you have to go back a couple years on the chart, but somewhere around the 1275, which we almost got there today, but well, we did get it to 1276 today. So 1275, 1280, maybe a little resistance, then up to the 1300 and above, some resistance there as well, but still looks really good. And the NASDAQ also looking very strong. Pulled back a little, but pretty strong. We did have a lot of volume. The volume in the Qs today were 74% above average daily volume, and the diamonds were 60% above average daily volume. Now the IWM and the SPY both were a little above average daily volume, but they weren't near as strong as the Qs, and the diamonds had tons of volume in them. So let's take a look at the GLD. Look at gold. Gold, looks fine here. A little volume here. When my MACD takes out this downtrend line, then it's going to go ahead and probably break out. But it's been right around here, right? We're hitting, and the MACD is going making a little lower, but that can change. But the gold still looks okay here. I wouldn't be panicking in my gold positions just yet. Silver, same thing. SLV, the ETF looks fine here. Copper, holding up fine also. Take a look at the Euro FXE. So we did had a little bit of selling, but we did come off its lows. Kind of neutral overall in the day, but it held up all right. The volatility index, the VIX, not much volatility, but did definitely got all the way down to 1691 and closed up at 1761. So a little off its highs, but still down. Let's go look at the McClellan oscillator, the NYSE McClellan. All right, so that today's pushed us up to this 34. Whoops, as it takes off, 3409. So we need to get up here 50, 60 to be that level up in here to be overbought, and of course down here to be oversold. So still looking fine here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ McClellan. So it's not even that, it's at 15, so it's not even as much as NYSE, so still pretty neutral. Take a look at the sectors. So 14 of the 16 sectors have all finished in the green. The bank index had a large percent gain, up 2.28%. Gold index was the weakest, down 1.23%. So we had bank, internet, thanks to Google, home construction, broker dealers, internet, or industrial transportation, retail, all that stuff's looking pretty good. The oil services were a little weak, and then gold was a little weak. Over to ChartWatch, of course, tons of things broke out. So I can't even begin to go through hardly, put a dent in them. But Apple, even though it's a $7 move, it's only 2%. So nice volume behind it. Looks really good. CLF breaking higher. It's been finally, it had its tight consolidation. Finally had a nice break higher today. Had good volume to support it, so it's looking good. Google taking out this tiny little downtrend line. Google's been kind of hanging out. Had volume too as it went higher. Looks good. Akamai finally got a bounce. Of course, it's got some moving averages above it, but it did take out this downtrend line and some volume coming back in, even though it did pull back later in the day. I still think it's worth keeping your eye on. FedEx still in this little pennant, and it has had a lot of volume come in today, though. And of course, again, it also pulled back. But I posted this that I really like. Of course, it could break either way, but I really like it's really tight. This Bollinger Band is getting definitely point of squeezing, so let's keep an eye on it. And deck, I like deck here. It held the 30. Lots of volume. It had above average volume today, so I like that too. It had some good volume. It did make a low, took out this low and the high, so it did have a little bit of an outside bullish type reversal. So another one to watch. Looks pretty good here. Pretty low risk entry point. Z-Linux breaking out today. Looks good. APKT, this one had a great breakout, kind of a big gain all in one day, so probably would wait till it takes out the prior high before you could enter it at any point now, which would be 59.36, but very strong. CRM, maybe it's finally bottomed here, so a lot of volume coming in it today. Also looks pretty interesting. Same with FFIB, kind of watching it here, but had the volume coming back in. Did close below the 30. So I don't think if it got above, yeah. So, but it never did take out the 50. So still looks pretty interesting. Coinstar. So Coinstar, I had this gap up on earnings. The low here was 55. It did hold. Got a, last Friday. Not last Friday. Today it did kind of go down there and touch it, and then move back up. So it hasn't quite taken out this downtrend line, but I'm still watching it really closely. Volume's coming back in. I'm anticipating that it takes out this probably, depending on the market, probably tomorrow. But, it is below its 50 though. I'm stalking. NetApp, big breakout. So it did take out this prior high here. It looks real good. Lots of volume coming in. So next point would be above this 57.21 to buy it. Allegheny Technologies, another one I know. A lot of these I talked about in the watch list over the weekend. This bull flag, big breakout, volume to support it, looks good. Of course, all the coals, Walter, I know they pulled back, but the volume's still there, so just keep an eye on them. Still looks good. And then they could have a little pullback, we'll see. Patriot Coal still looks good. All of them, ACI, Arch Coal pulled back a little bit too, but still holding up well, still looks fine. BTU, lots of volume there, same thing. Vimple, like Vimple here, it's been kind of slowly creeping up this trend line, and it closed here, and closed there, so this trend line's on these closes right here. So once it breaks higher here, the volume's coming into it. It's looking pretty interesting here. I think some people have already been playing it, but I like it. Then, of course, the banks. Bank of America had a big breakout. Didn't show that one, but STI breaking higher. I like that one. STT breaking out of its bull flag today. Looks good. A lot of the financials obviously had big moves today. JP Morgan, one of the ones we're in. Going higher today, looking good. Morgan Stanley, it had been flagging out. I've been talking about it. Looks good. Goldman Sachs breaking out today above that 170 level. Looks really good. ADCO, this is one of our long-term holdings that we've been in since, I don't remember what the price was, around $40, $41. Looking really good. Nice breakout today. It's a ag and construction machinery stock. And Joy Global, nice breakout. Looking good. CSX, been talking about that one. Did finally break out. Been looking like it was going through here lately. Took it a while, but it finally did it. Sienna, lots of volume coming in. Did peak out above the downtrend line, so I think it's worth watching. Baidu, I don't know. It's still messing around. It's got good volume though. It did take out this little flag, so it's looking pretty interesting here also. Iconics brand. It was my stock of the month for December. Flagged out, breaking out, still holding it actually. So it's still and we bought it around 19, so we're still holding it. Looks fine here. Lots and lots of volume coming in on this breakout. Looks good. AGN. Kind of watching this because it held this uptrend line, and it is back above its 50-day. Did have, obviously, it closed below the downtrend line here, and it's going to have some resistance up here around 71. But kind of interesting. Lots of volume coming in today, so watch it. Nice pop above the 71 area here in Allergan. AUO. I've been talking about this. Optronics. It's still it's about ready to go. Should take off here. Looking good. BEXP, also talk about this one, and it's another one that pulled back, but it still looks fine here, until it has some kind of selling or something, or takes out the downtrend line. It still looks fine. And SVN, talked about that, still kind of watching it. I'd like to see it take out the downtrend line. It pulled back a little, but not a lot of volume behind it. All right, so on economic data on day for tomorrow, we'll get factory orders at 10 a.m. We'll get the U.S. motor vehicle sales out around lunch. We'll get the FOMC meeting minutes, which is from the prior meeting. We'll get that out at 2 p.m. Of course, that's all in Eastern time. And then on the market signals, of course, there was a change today on the market signals. The price objective on the Dow actually increased because of the Dow, breaking higher. So now these have stayed the same. Of course, obviously, we're all on buy signals on point figure, but so the price objective now on the Dow is 13,250 per the pattern there on the Dow. So I won't go through it today. I'll do it probably on Friday, but looking really good. And of course, there's no time frame on these on the point and figure price objectives. All right, so that is it for today. Thanks for watching.